This lonely ass podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook because we all like listening to good stuff. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach, and I'm by myself again. This seems to be a running trend, but not for lack of trying from Jonny. Obviously, as we said last week, Jonny just got married, just got hitched, and he's on his honeymoon right now. Left the podcast with me. Some would say in safe hands. Some would say maybe the opposite. But regardless, we're here. We're bringing you another one, and I sure wish I could have been there, Jonny, but, I'm a piece of shit, so, I should, like, all this time, Jonny's like, yeah, you get your get your podcast, get your passport, and, and the whole time I was just like, yeah, I'll get it, and I never did, so, sorry, Jonny, but, Looks like Joe was up there to keep you company, to I guess get to sort of square off on a ping pong match. I saw some snaps that got sent to me. I'm excited to talk about that in more detail next week when you're back. But yeah, so it looked like it was a good time. I saw some pictures, saw some videos and stuff, and beautiful. Jonny, you're beautiful, and Ollie's doing okay too. But yeah, so we're back, guys. It's always strange starting out a solo podcast. I don't know why it is. It's really just, when you think about it, it's really just you talking to yourself. We all do it in traffic. We all talk to ourselves in traffic, or we speak loudly at the person who's being shitty on the road, but obviously they can't hear it, so you're just talking to yourself, right? But so I don't know why it's so difficult to start a podcast off, but it is. It's sort of I think it's an anticipation thing. I'm always wanting to try to be funny for you guys, even if I'm not like the funniest dude. Always wanting to shoot for that, so I think I'm put a lot of expectations on myself as far as recording goes. Hey, cat, you piece of shit. My cats are like doing Running of the Bulls. In Pamplona. That's how you say it, right? I feel like it's Pamplona. I'm going to look it up because I'm either super smart or I'm an asshole. No, I think that's right. Pamplona. There's no in there. Pamplona. But yeah, no, it was just like Running of the Bulls, but it was cats. So it was simultaneously cute and sort of pissed me off a little bit. Trying to keep a quiet environment. I waited till my kids went to bed before jumping on the podcast for you guys, because I didn't want you guys to have to hear things. And now you hear my cats being shitheads. Don't be surprised if there's a loud meow at some point. They're right upstairs again. Don't be surprised if there's a loud meow and a cat fight and me screaming at cats in the middle of this podcast. Because that's just what it is. I don't have a room shut off. Like, literally, I'm right by the stairs in my basement. So, foot traffic, people coming in the front door, my kids, cats, anything and everything gets picked up. So, you know what you signed up for whenever you hit the subscribe button. You signed up for some high grade mediocrity. So I'm not gonna cut it out. It's all gonna get left in. That's the thing about this podcast too, is it's like I want it to feel genuine. So if there's some like stupid sounds and shit that come through, then that's just what it is. I mean, there's sounds in everyday life. If you can't handle some sounds, if you just want to hear if you want the sound to be so clear that you can hear the saliva moving in my mouth, then you came to the wrong place. This is not an ASMR podcast. Just want to get that out of the way. Straight ahead. Want to let you guys know. I don't have, honestly, that much stuff. There is a couple things that have gone on recently that, I'll touch on this week. Probably pretty heavily because they're like the only two things that I have on my list. But I really sort of also want to get back to playing Fortnite. So, I shouldn't say back because I haven't played it yet tonight. But, I want to have a little bit of time tonight maybe to get on some video games because I'm straight up addicted. And you can, we can all blame Joe. We can all blame Joe for that. By the way, if you guys want to play, I'm on Xbox, so I can play with PC gamers, I can play with Switch, I can play with iOS or Android, but for some stupid reason, PlayStation can't get their shit together to allow for cross-platform. I've got a buddy also who listens to the podcast, Nate. We went to the Packers game, Packers Chiefs, preseason game, but they still lost. And so I've got a running 0-2 record so far of seeing the Packers. So, that's good. At least it wasn't as demoralizing this time. Last time the Packers came into Kansas City and I got to see the game, they were riding hot 13-0 or something like that. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, they were rolling. Like, they couldn't be stopped. And then came to Kansas City, and then I don't know what in the world happened, but Aaron Rodgers threw like 4 interceptions or something, and it was almost just like I pissed somebody off. The big guy, if there's a big guy, pissed him off up top. He's like, nah, can't let you have this one. So Aaron Rodgers didn't even make the trip this time. None of the starters made the trip. They all just stayed at home, I assume, and treated it like a bye week. So that's fine. Aaron Rodgers got paid $134 million last week for a 5-year deal or something like that. So, I mean, honestly, if he wasn't, I don't even expect him to have watched the game. Like, if he wasn't completely annihilated and doing some questionable shit in the comfort of his own home, then something went wrong. Because if I got paid $134 million, I'd wake up in a strange place, and who knows, man? Who knows? Some of my orifices might hurt, or holes all in the walls. I don't know what's happening. Some strange shadowy figures on the outside, but I'm like in an enclosed room. This is getting weird. It's going down a weird. I don't know why I just put myself in a glory hole dungeon, but apparently, apparently I did. That's what's going to happen if I ever win the lottery or stumble onto an exorbitant amount of money. So at least it'll make for good podcast material. No, so none of the starters made it for the game or anything, but I had a point that I was making about Nate. He listens to the podcast. I don't recall. Anyway, we had a good time. We were row 15, so we were 15 rows behind the bench, and man, I could not hear anything. And for a preseason game where the stadium was maybe a third to a half full. Like it wasn't like you're rubbing elbows with people, but they were loud, man. They were loud, including the Packers fans. There were a couple times where I was sort of shocked at how many Packers fans there were, but we love our team. We travel well, and but man, they don't mess around at Arrowhead. The stadium is like shaped really oddly. Like all the acoustics, it feels like the walls are really tall around you, and it's all enclosed. So that sound just reverberates and vibrates everywhere. There were a couple belligerent fans. Like, you ever been to a football game and you're sitting there and you're just wanting to enjoy the game? And if you're like me, you don't go out and get blackout drunk, or like fucked up beyond belief, and just, not remember the game. Like, you're there to watch the game. Like, listen, they're charging $60 at the gate just to park. You better remember the game. But there was a dude, and most of the Packers fans there were being polite, being nice. There was a guy behind me, though, and he started out fine. He's pretty talkative. Could tell he didn't really know what he was talking about. He sort of made a couple jokes. Like, I don't know. Like, there was on a punt, one of the Packers players, like, the ball bounced weird, and the Packers player just ran away from it. And the guy's like, "Oh, what's he running away from? What's he running away from the ball for?" I was like, he probably didn't want to get touched, because as soon as you get touched by the ball in the NFL, it's a live ball. The other team can pick it up, and then it's their ball again. That's the rules. But this guy, he just like laughed, and then I just sort of looked at him for a second, and he's like, "Oh yeah, because then it's," he sort of understood it after. But so it started out there, and then slowly went downhill. He went off at one point to get a drink, and apparently stumbled across some dude who asked if he had any money for a drink, and he just went and got him a drink, and then he came back and the dude wasn't there, or so he says. I think it was just a good excuse for him to get 2 beers for himself. And then apparently just toss him back like it was nothing. I don't know how much he ended up drinking, but he was pissing off Chiefs fans all around. And I was feeling uncomfortable, and Nate was feeling uncomfortable right next to me. And like the lady who's sitting behind us, to the left, he was behind right. So he's like pretty much right next to him. Kept making fun of their kicker's name because it had the word butt in it or something like that. I was like, all right, how old are we? But like eventually she was like, whatever, asshole. Like, when it gets to the point where you're getting called an asshole at a football game, it's like, oh, maybe it's time to just sort of wake up. Let's not take this further. But I don't have like a great story about how shitty this guy was. I'm just saying, if you're going to a sporting event, number one, be respectful. Like, and that's the thing about Chiefs fans. They were respectful enough. I'll get into that in a second. But if you're going, especially if it's an away game, but even more so if it's a home game, you welcome in the opposing team. You welcome their fans in. You have a fun game. You have some fun rivalry, but you just don't be shitty. Like, you don't rub it in their faces if you're winning. You don't fucking get pouty and shitty when they lose and take all your butthurt feelings out on the other team. Like, we're not out there playing. We're just here enjoying the game. So as long as nobody's like catastrophically injured and nobody's, hurt, who cares, dude? We're all there to have fun. We're all there to have fun. So don't take it so seriously. This guy, just cracking stupid jokes and shit, and then laughing at it. But I think he was expecting. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody makes like an off comment joke, like sort of shitty, and then laughs about it, but loud enough and awkwardly enough where he's expecting somebody else to jump in and save him from his awkwardness? That's what this guy did several times. He'd make a joke about the kicker and his name had the word butt in it, and then he'd be like, ha 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 ha. He would just laugh about it for a while, and then, he never like pushed me on the shoulder or something, try to get me to join in, because I think I probably would have just turned around and stared at him. Maybe did like a half smile or something like that, and turned back around and watched the game. But eventually, I think he was getting the point, because towards the end, either he passed out or he just shut up, because I heard not one word from him. He could have left too. Who knows? I didn't even make eye contact with the guy afterwards. So, and he was a Packers fan, so it was sort of unfortunate. It was probably the worst experience I've had with Packers fans. Everybody else was really good. I was wearing I got a big old flag outside my front door. It's a Packers flag. And I was wearing it as a cape. I was wearing it as a cape. And I was fully expecting to, like, get screamed at or something by some angry Chiefs fans, but they were good for the most part. I compared them when I came home, the little I could speak, because I was talking so loudly all game because I was trying to compensate for how little I could hear. But I compared them to a shit cake. Now follow me on this, okay? So they're shitty, right? But on top of the shit cake, there's a layer of icing. Okay, and that layer of icing is that barrier that keeps you from seeing the shit cake, right? So they'll say things like, oh yeah, good luck on your season, and then they'll do the little shaky hand thing, like kinda sorta. And the whole time I'm like, but why did you have to throw that last part in there? Why couldn't you let me think it was carrot cake instead? Now it's shit cake. You know, the perception is everything. Like, I would have bit into it. I would have tasted the shit. I would have figured out that it's shit. But you have let me, from the get-go, you missed a spot. Hey, dude, you missed a spot with that icing. You rubbed it a little bit too thin there. Next time, work on your technique. Get a nice thick layer of icing. Betty Crocker makes a shit ton of icing. And slather that thing. We all know icing is like the best part of a cake anyway. So the game overall was good. Arrowhead's always great. For being here in the middle of the country, weather's not great all year. But the people are really nice. And nobody had really anything negative to say to me. I was fully decked out in Packer stuff. I made it completely obvious. I mean, if you're wearing a cape, if you're a guy who's wearing a cape, you're making yourself obvious wherever you go. So I'm wearing a cape with a big old G on the back of it. It's green. It's obvious I'm not rooting for the Chiefs. I even screamed "Go Pack Go" a couple times during the game. And there was one point where a guy turned around, another instance of shit cake, right? He turned around and went, like just did like a little sideways laugh, and then he motioned to his buddy with his thumb. He pointed back over his shoulder directly at us, and it was like, oh, dude, another portion of the cake that was just left uncovered. God, so don't be shitty. Don't be shitty at sporting events. If you're gonna go, have fun, drink a little bit. Fucking, if it's legal where you are, fire up a joint in the parking lot and then go in and enjoy the food that you're going to pay far too much for. I went to the concession stand, and shit you not, I was fucking confused. Okay, so I got a cheeseburger. This is a stadium cheeseburger. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't the best cheeseburger I ever had in my life. I've had better cheeseburgers, honestly, from McDonald's than I had at the stadium, which is, sort of shameful. But why does a piece of meat, a slice of cheese, lettuce, tomato, and a bun, plus fries and a drink, cost me $18.75? If I went to McDonald's and got the same thing, now granted, I understand. You go to the movies, you're going to pay more for concessions because that's where they're making their money. And you got to think a good amount of money that's made at any football game is coming through those concession stands. But why, for the love of God, am I paying $18 for a cheeseburger and fries and a drink? And it was just a medium drink. I could pay half that and get twice as much food at McDonald's. No joke, no lie. So was feeling super salty about that. And well, here's another shit thing. Okay, so Kansas City fans, and I'm sure this applies to other places. But I didn't know they were selling shit cake at the concession stand because I walked up in my cape. I take back what I said earlier. I did get a little bit of flack. Because I walked up the concession stand and the lady said, "Oh, I can't serve you." But just joking. Like, ha 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 ha. Like, she threw in a little laugh afterwards. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I started like fake walk away, like, sort of playing along, like, oh, okay. Oh, well, I'll just take my business elsewhere. Okay. And then we had a chuckle or whatever. And inside my body, I was choking this lady. I would never do that in real life. But, because I'm kind. I'm a kind fan. I came to get a cheeseburger, not shit cake. Don't sell me shit cake. I came here for a cheeseburger. Now, granted, cheeseburger was probably comparable to the shit cake in quality, but I don't give a shit, dude. I don't take a shit and I don't give a shit. All right. Just don't you work in the stadium, dude. You work in the stadium. It's your responsibility to show the best side of your organization. And that's your fans, right? The fans have to show civility. They have to show kindness and generosity and good sportsmanship. That's what every fan base should show. And while I didn't feel it a whole lot in Kansas City, there were a lot of people, including the drunk women in front of me, who were slightly hitting on me, even though I was clearly wearing a wedding ring. I feel like she was making a couple passes at me, but I don't really know for certain. Because she was drunk, so she could have just been talking bullshit, and I honestly wasn't paying attention because there was football. I don't care, dude. Like, I'm married anyway, I don't care about any of that. It's not what I'm there for. My wife got me the tickets, dude, so I'm there to watch the game. I don't give a shit. Oh, but this chick got roasted in front of us. So she's had a little bit too much to drink. But she was being sort of fun-loving, whatever. And this guy, for some reason, wearing Patriot stuff. I don't know. For some reason, he's wearing Patriot stuff. He comes meandering up the aisle, sort of, somewhat close to us. And this lady has had too much to drink, and she's like, "Oh, what are you wearing? Denver's not playing this week." And then we all just sort of like looked around, like maybe she's talking to somebody else. Even the guy, he like looked down at himself, like he was confused as well. He looked down at his shirt, and he like turned around and he like looked, and he didn't see anybody in navy and orange, so he like looked back at her. And she was obviously making eye contact with him. And he said, "What?" She said, "Denver's not playing." And then he said, "This isn't Denver." And then we all started laughing. And then she turned bright red. And that was a good moment. I think I even said like, "Oh, good try." It's always bad whenever you get a good try from somebody. It was good times though. It was a good game. We lost, but God, Yoncast. Oh, the Yoncast is real. Like I said, I didn't go in expecting a win. I didn't go in expecting a lose. I just went in hoping that they'd be able to get what they needed to get out of it and have nobody get seriously injured, which they did. No real injury timeouts. The blue tent on the side of the on the sideline did go up, so there must have been an injury of some sorts that happened, but they didn't fly first string out. So no Jimmy Graham. The yawns are so real. No Jimmy Graham, no Aaron Rodgers, no Randall Cobb, no Devontae Adams, no Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones is suspended for the first couple weeks, I think, for smoking pot, which I think is silly. Like, it's not like he's like the anti-Barry Bonds. Like, just imagine if like Barry Bonds smoked a J before he went out and tried to crank out a homer. Like, that dude doesn't give a shit. Like, do you think there's really anything to be gained from smoking pot athletically? Most people I know who've smoked pot just want to sit around. They want to eat food. And they just want to fucking talk, That's how I just want to laugh. I end up laughing the whole time. Either that or coughing for a ridiculous amount of time. So, I don't understand why the NFL is still punishing people for marijuana violations. It's silly, but I guess until it's federally passed. Until it's federally passed, they can't really do anything about it. So it's whatever. Game was fun. There was some really good stuff in the first half that the Packers did, and then the second half was sort of downhill. A couple interceptions throughout the game, and progressively towards the end, that's when you play like your third and fourth string starters, not starters, but the third and fourth string people on the team who are on the chopping block. And maybe I should just go to bed, guys. Let's stop to take a second to talk about our sponsor, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. The book that I'm going to recommend for the month of September is Scars and Stripes. It's actually not an audiobook. It's an Audible original. So head over, check it out. The whole premise behind Scars and Stripes. If you don't know, by the way, Randy and Jason Sklar, the Sklar brothers, they are a comedic duo. They're twins. If you haven't listened to their stuff before, also listen to that. But the whole premise of Scars and Stripes is they go around when they're touring. They go around the city that they're visiting, and they pick up things to talk about. And they try to learn as much as they can about the city. And then they go up on stage and they open up with 10 or so minutes of material that they've gathered from just walking around the city and taking it all in. Gives a good insight into other parts of the country. And hey, if you're from whatever specific part of the country that you tune in for, it'll make you laugh as well. Randy and Jason Sklar are really funny guys. Would highly recommend this one. It's unabridged audiobook, 6 hours and 47 minutes, solid amount of time, and you get to keep it. You get to keep it. It's free with a 30-day trial. And, hey, that's it. That's all I'm going to say, guys. Enjoy. audibletrial.com/jumbled. Back to the podcast. So it wasn't the best game later in the game, but it was still a good one. So I'm appreciative of my wife for getting me those tickets. They were amazing. I hope you didn't spend too much money. I didn't really ask, because what kind of person asks how much their birthday present costs? But I hope it wasn't too much. And for a preseason game, I'm betting they were reasonable. But those seats during a regular season game, I bet go for a pretty penny. So, speaking on, I'll get into the two notes that I have now. That wasn't even a note, dude, and I made 26 minutes out of that. Dude, shit cake, bro. Talking about football, somebody who's a divisive figure in the NFL, currently not on a team. Collin Kaepernick. I'm sure you guys have heard. Nike is celebrating, I think it's their 25-year anniversary for the Just Do It campaign or something like that. So, they had a bunch of celebrities. They had Serena Williams talk. It was it was just a big yawn, and then no, I'm just kidding. Serena Williams something about girls from Compton don't play tennis, they crush it or something. They had like Odell Beckham Jr. talking about, I don't know, you don't need a Super Bowl ring to play like you do, to play like you have one. And then they had Collin Kaepernick, and it said, oh God, what was the picture? It was like, you have to be willing to risk it all, or you have to be willing to, what was the fucking, here, hold on, I'm gonna find it. Collin Kaepernick, Nike ad. Images. Google for the win. Believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. Which I think is a good message, you know? But, you know, people are divided in what kneeling means for the NFL and for the players in the NFL. I think a lot of people feel like it's being disrespectful, but something a lot of people don't know is kneeling came out of a conversation he had with an ex-military serviceman, or whatever you want to call it, somebody who was in the military. And they said, I think Colin Kaepernick had said that he was going to sit during the national anthem. And the soldier had said, you know, I feel like it'd be more respectful, showing respect for, you know, the military, to take a knee instead. Because I forget exactly why. There's a reason that taking a knee, I think it's something that servicemen and women do out in the field for various reasons, whatever. But they said, but he had said, you know, maybe you should take a knee. So it was he and, I'm trying to remember the other guy. I can't remember his name right now. But they're 49ers at the time. And he took a knee. And, you know, he did it to highlight the injustice in the African American community for, you know, police brutality, and I feel like it was completely justified. I'm completely on Colin Kaepernick's side. I feel like he should have at least a position with a team in the NFL, because if he's not a starter, you know, then he should at least have a second string job somewhere. He's not a bad quarterback. He's got a good arm on him. He's a good scrambler. You know, he's long, he's fast, so I don't know. And I feel like he's doing like an antitrust lawsuit or something against the NFL right now. Because I think he feels like he's being discriminated against, specifically, you know, for what he did. And I think he's probably got a good case for that. Teams aren't taking him on because they don't want to have that presence in the locker room, but he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, Ray Lewis killed a guy, you know, but everybody loves Ray Lewis. Everybody doing you know what? I've seen people like out, like at dances and stuff, doing the Ray Lewis dance. All right. You get in a fucking group and they all do the slide to the right, slide to the left, and then arch your back and throw your arms out and scream in the air. Like that's, everybody's done it. But hey, Ray Lewis killed a guy, got off for it, you know. And Colin Kaepernick just taking a knee to bring awareness, just to bring awareness, you know. So I feel like, you know, and he's explained it before, that he's not doing it to be disrespectful to the military or to anybody who served. He's not doing it to disparage the flag. It has nothing to do with that. It's a moment where everybody's doing pretty much the same thing, standing with their hand over their heart, and, you know what? It stands out when somebody does something contrary. It's well within his right to do so. You know, there's the freedom of speech. There's the freedom, you know, he can do that. Now, a lot of people have made the argument, well, you know, then, you know, but he's employed by the NFL. He's employed by 49ers, whatever. They have the right to fire him. I don't know about that. Because, I mean, if I went to work and I did, you know, it's not like he took a shit on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like he pissed on an American flag during the national anthem. Like, he's peacefully protesting, and then after the song goes, he gets up and he plays a fucking game. He throws a ball around for, you know, 60 minutes. So I don't agree with how triggered everybody's gotten. I feel like it's ramped up. I saw President Trump tweeted about, you know, Nike and Collin Kaepernick earlier. Apparently there's a thing called the Trump, what they call it? The Trump dive and bump, I think is what they call it. So whenever he shits on a company, it takes an immediate sharp decline and then bounces back up above where it was. I don't know if that's true. I heard that earlier. I could be talking out of my ass right now. But I feel like, honestly, and they passed some rules in the offseason about having, about the teams needing, they could either be on the field and standing, or they could stay in the locker room. Now, wouldn't you think it's more disrespectful to not be present at all? To say, hey, I don't care enough to even be out there when the American flag is raised, when they're singing the national anthem. At least he's present when he's taking a knee. Well, people want to say, oh, well, he's, they have the right to just sit in the back. And I don't know, man. Like, I feel like if I went to a game and I looked out on the field and there was one side that had the team out and the other side had nobody out there, they're all just sitting back in the hallway ready to run out afterwards. That's a problem. Like, that seems much more disrespectful. But I guarantee there are going to be a couple teams that do it this year. I mean, it's already happened, I'm pretty sure. I think it was maybe the Lions last year, a couple years ago. Somebody just stayed in the locker room the entire time. The whole team did, because they were going to go out and take a knee, and then somebody just said, hey, let's just not go out at all. And it just feels more disrespectful that way. But the NFL passed a rule that says, hey, you can either be out here or you can stay in the back. I feel like if it was a, home or visiting team, there are going to be people that get triggered off that. So why don't we all just grow up, realize that we're at a football game. You can feel how you want about the flag, and if you have your right, I don't want to say you don't have a right. You have your right to feel the way that you feel. But others have a right to feel the way they feel. And if they want to peacefully protest, they should be free to do so without repercussion. Without repercussion. You can go out next to your road and hold up a sign that says abortion is murder, right? You can go out and do that. You're on your property. You're just holding up a sign. Now people are going to think you're a shithead? Sure. But you have the right to do that. It's your property. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit because I'm trying to make up more time than the material that I have. So it's no big deal. But yeah, no, I mean, Nike is taking a bit of a hit from associating themselves with Colin Kaepernick, but they've held to their morals, and so far, I don't know if Nike's made an official statement yet, but it was like like their marketing dude or whatever, director of marketing, I think, or something like that, made a comment about how Colin Kaepernick is one of the he's one of the most like outspoken athletes of this time, sort of like how Muhammad Ali didn't want to go to Vietnam, right? Like it's comparable. Everybody had a fucking problem with Muhammad Ali not wanting to go to war, but everybody loves Muhammad Ali, loved him. I feel like we need to give Colin Kaepernick a better shake here. He's not, now granted, he's not like an elite athlete like Muhammad Ali. He's not cream of the crop, but he deserves a shot. You know, it's not like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tim Tebow should have got a better shot than he did. So maybe my view is a little bit skewed, but I definitely feel like he can be a good second string quarterback. So I hope it works out for him. That's the official stance I'm taking. Jonny's Canadian, so his opinion on the matter, while it may be similar or different, in the end, you know, he's living up north. He's got his own things he needs to that they're dealing with. I assume. I don't know shit about Canadian government and news and shit like that because I'm not well traveled, obviously. So that's that. Another thing came out. So Machine Gun Kelly. I don't know what this man's thinking. So if you guys don't know, Machine Gun Kelly is like one of like 5 white rappers, right? There's like 5 of them at this point. Everybody knows Eminem. He's the GOAT. Definitely a GOAT of white rappers. Might be the GOAT as far as all rappers go, as far as his lyricism and all that. But you know, there's MGK, Machine Gun Kelly. That's what that is. Eminem. There's like Lil Dicky, who's sort of like a comedy rapper, but he's still really good. I think the 2 Beastie Boys, and that's it. Used to be 3, rest in peace. But Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly are sort of going at it right now. Eminem hasn't said anything yet. I mean, he made an initial diss track, but then Machine Gun Kelly came out with one on Friday, and it's calling Eminem out. And I don't know what he's thinking, because I don't know if anybody's seen 8 Mile. Seen that movie? It doesn't end well for the guy who battles Eminem in any scenario. You know? I don't know what the thinking is. Like, I heard a story about Eminem just reading the dictionary when he was younger. He had a lot of time, or he, you know, in order to prepare himself better for these rap battles, he would go and he'd read the dictionary, and he'd improve his vocabulary, and eventually he'd have words that he could throw in at any point during his freestyles, right? Some of it's written, some of it's freestyles. I've seen Eminem freestyles before where it's just nuts. It's insane how somebody could even come up with something like that off the top of their heads out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense to me, but he makes it look so effortless. And you know, MGK really trying to call him out, and I just feel like it's an awful idea. You know, Eminem's almost 50, So he's getting up there in age, but he's still one of the best rappers alive. So I think you gotta watch your P's and Q's when you're calling out somebody like Eminem. We all know how savage he is. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. Yeah, man, it's gonna be. I'm gonna cook popcorn. I know that. I'm gonna see it all over Facebook. Whatever comes out, I'm gonna add it to my watch list. I'm not gonna look at it. I'm not gonna look at Facebook the whole day. I'm gonna get off work. I'm gonna come home. I'm immediately gonna start popping popcorn, and then I'm gonna sit back in my recliner, put the bowl of popcorn on my chest, lift up my phone, turn it on, and just laugh and eat popcorn at the same time. Because that's how it should be enjoyed. It's gonna be a spectacle. If anybody's looking for something entertaining, be on the lookout for whatever Eminem drops next in response. If he does, Larry, friend of the podcast, Larry Hill, he did a live video earlier. I thought he made a really good metaphor. He said a wolf howls at the moon. And that's cool because the wolf can howl at the moon as much as it wants. But the moon never howls back because the moon doesn't give a shit about the wolf. But as soon as that moon howls back at the wolf is won. And I feel like there's something to that. But at the same time, I really just want to see a demoralizing defeat for Eminem. I feel like he could so easily just walk away from this and feel completely justified in his decision because, to be honest, Machine Gun Kelly's not competition for him. He's not in any sense of the word. So he could walk away with his head held high, knowing that he's the GOAT. But I really want to see. I want to see just a demoralizing, crushing defeat. Because I don't want to waste my popcorn. If I'm going to cook up some popcorn, I don't want to eat half of it and just be disappointed at what I watched. I want to eat all of it and be licking the bowl afterwards, and screaming for somebody to make me more popcorn because I'm going to watch it a second time. That's what I expect. So we'll see how that all pans out. I'm not going to go much longer than this, guys. I just wanted to cover a few things. Jonny will be back next week. So we'll just break it down here. If you guys want to catch us on social media, just search for Jumbled Podcasts. We're always there. We've got a very quick response time on Facebook chat, so hit us up. Send us a message. If you want to send us just a traditional email, that'd be jumbledpodcast@gmail.com. Of course, you could also find Jonny directly at johnny.jumbled@gmail.com. I have not set up one yet, although I might. It's a really intriguing thing. Would be to send each of us individual emails for topics to talk about. That way the other doesn't accidentally see the topic, and then it's more real that way. Want to thank our sponsor, Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. You guys have heard it so much. I hope that you're taking the opportunity to head over. And honestly, there's so much. So many books for you to just dig through. And the great thing is, sign up for your trial. You get 30 days. You can cancel at any point during those 30 days. And then after your 30 days are up, you will not be charged, but you'll get to keep your book. Let me repeat that. After your 30 days are up, even if you have discontinued service with Audible, you'll get to keep your book. So you have literally nothing to lose. You could sign up and then immediately cancel. Don't recommend you do that, but you could do that. That is within the realm of possibility. So sign up, give them a look around, just go see what's up, because there's so many books narrated by really famous celebrities. You know, we talked about who was it? David Spade. You know, he was our talk. I think it was a couple months ago, maybe July, that I talked about David Spade during the spot in the middle, and they made that whole audiobook was specifically for Audible. And there's a lot more like that. You know, you see it more and more nowadays. The people are really flocking towards these places that treat the authors right. They treat the customers right. They're doing everything, you know, by the books. They're doing it all. They got a stranglehold on the audiobook game. So head over, find something, and we hope you enjoy it. If you want to be a patron to the podcast, head over to patreon.com/jumbled and give us $500 so I can put on some high heels and strut. Ooh, I'm gonna strut it. Anyway, that's gonna do it, guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, hold on. If you're you're listening to us wherever you're listening, we are on all the major podcast platforms. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, Player.fm. We're on all of them. So you can find us there. If you're wanting to switch it up, you know, check us out elsewhere. Just keep checking us out. We appreciate you guys. And head over and give us a rating and review on iTunes. It really does help out. And we're still waiting on that 10th review. I might just wear some ladies' clothes anyway, just to get this 10th review. So head over, give us a rating and review, even if you're listening on somewhere else. It only takes a couple minutes, but it helps out so much more than you guys realize. So please consider doing that. But that's going to be it, guys. So, Jonny, we miss you. I feel like I sort of did an okay job holding the fort down this time. But looking forward to getting you back here in the studio. We'll say the studio, even though we're in two places. Looking forward to chatting with you next week, bud. I know you probably won't hear this until then, but that's that, guys. We're out of here, and I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast. About like 3 topics. There's only like 3 topics.